Hello, everybody, and welcome to another video of The World According to Lonzo. This is Andrew Lonzo, and today is October 31st, 2025. A great day to be alive, and that means, since it's October 31st, it is Halloween. And I just thought I'll talk about some of my favorite Halloween scary movies and the two genres that define them, and give you some recommendations of what movies are excellent to watch during Halloween or the entire Halloween season. So, there are pretty much two genres that a lot of people associate with Halloween. One being the gothic genre, and the other being the slasher genre. The most famous typical genre. Turn off the blinds. Alright, there we go, that's better. The most famous typical genre is the gothic genre. When most people think about Halloween throughout the years, the gothic genre is what you guys think about. That is Bela Lugosi's Dracula. That's Lon Chaney's Boris Karloff's Frankenstein, Lon Chaney's The Wolfman, and etc., etc., etc. All those wonderful films made throughout the early 20s, throughout the 40s, especially the 30s was its heyday. 1931, 1932, 1933, 1934, 1935 was the golden years of the horror genre, pre-code horror genre. And what do I like to watch? Well, I like to watch gothic movies when it's a good gothic weather, which today, unfortunately, the weather is not giving me gothic vibes. So I decided to watch Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning, which is a slasher film. So, some examples of... Let's go back to Gothic for a second. Let's go back to Gothic. Some examples, big examples of whether or not you're watching a Gothic movie or a slasher movie is Gothicism. For those of you who don't know, has been around since like the 1700s. It's been around for a long time. Classic novels, and it's always associated with romance. If you want Twilight vibes, and you want Dracula vibes, and you want True Blood, vampires, and your typical werewolves, and Frankenstein's, classic monsters, is always associated with Gothic films. And it usually takes place during the Victorian age. And it's more typical with Halloween than, in my opinion, it's more typical than Halloween than slasher films, because slasher films can take place during the summertime and all throughout the year. Sometimes they take place during the fall, but like some people could consider Jaws a horror slasher film because it's just killing monster. So here's some examples of some modern day Gothic films. One of the best ones you can watch straight up is The Witch. This one, if you've seen the Nosferatu by Robert Eggers, Nosferatu was actually nominated for some Oscars. What's cool about Gothic is like man, I'm still feeling some Halloween vibes, and too bad Halloween is over. Gothic can carry on to the next season. Edgar Allan Poe, a lot of his stories, Edgar Allan Poe, are Christmas stories. The new Nosferatu is kind of a Christmassy vibe feeling. So it's definitely older times. This is a gothic film, Sleepy Hollow, and this actually takes place, I think, on Halloween, so this is perfect. Of course, there's a new Frankenstein movie. I'll check it out, but Frankenstein and Dracula are great gothic. If you like Tim Burton is gothic kind of comedy, and not necessary. That's where you're gonna get some of your humor, lighthearted, not so scary. Batman is considered gothic, and crime, gothic film noir. It's kind of like two genres mixed into one. So Tim Burton is a mixture of gothic. All of his movies are gothic humor. So Tim Burton and Guillermo del Toro, who has a new movie, Frankenstein, starring Oscar Isaac, is out now in theaters. I would check out this Crimson Peak. Here's another Tim Burton, Johnny Depp. This one's okay. This one has some comedy in it. The Crow, comic book film. Tragic real story. Of course, this guy, Brandon Lee, is the son of this is really good. Brandon Lee is the son of Bruce Lee. And he got killed on set, so you never seen this movie. Another cool musical gothic movie, if you like musicals, is Swinging Todd. This would be gothic. And of course, all of the Universal horror films are considered to be gothic. I don't want. I can just show you some. These are so general. These are so common with for horror fans that you just have to think about Universal Studios. That's why they have Universal Studios Horror Nights at Universal Studios. But that is usually my favorite. I don't like, but I have to have. Gothic movies need to have good gothic weather, so you can have some tea, some hot tea, some hot cocoa, some nice wine. I don't, they don't vibe with me when it's not a rainy day. So sometimes you have to wait until it gets a little bit colder, especially in Bakersfield, California. Sometimes the weather will work, but sometimes the weather just doesn't vibe with what I'm trying to do. So here's Dracula box set, Frankenstein box set. Some of these movies you can watch on Peacock. Check out Peacock. And there's other ones on HBO Max. The Mummy, Universal Horror, That's Volume 2. Here's Volume 1. Here's Volume 2. And here's Wolfman. Those are all gothic films. Your slasher films. Slasher films are a party. So slasher films, they can take place like the first four. Friday the 13th, pretty much like summer vibes, man. You want some summer vibes? It's not really getting into fall vibes until the later on in the series. Summer slasher films, you have That's the blood and guts. That's the sex and beer, and that's the comic relief. Um, some good. Here's some modern day remakes. We got Halloween Kills. So pretty much slasher films are Freddy Krueger's, Jason's, Chucky's, Leatherface, and Terrifier. Terrifier is a trip if you want to. That's blood and guts times a billion. Those are slasher films. Some people like to watch those compared to gothic films. They're a little bit more jump scares, but the if I had to pick if I really had to pick one over another, I'm going to pick gothic all the time. I don't mind slasher films, but once you've seen the movie once, there's no more jump scares. You can only scare you the first time you go. Gothic movies have a little bit more set piece designs. The set piece designs are way more artsy fartsy. I think, for the most part, except for Nightmare on Elm Street. Well, always give Nightmare on Elm Street really good sets, really good imagination. If you like Nightmare on Elm Street, it's by far the superior slasher films. Jason's are just stupid fun. Halloween, the first few Halloween movies, they're pretty good, but they get, some of them are just stupid fun. The Scream movies are slasher films. I Know What You Did Last Summer is a slasher film. It's comical relief. The same plot line. Slasher movies are just, you have a beer, you have your friends over. Not too creative, but just fun entertainment. So, but the last mixed genre, I guess, there is one more genre. So there's just typically two. If you look online, some people think there's 10. There's so many genres. Horror films can also be connected closely to science fiction, which can also be connected to what I would call paranormal activity, demonic, psychological thrillers. Psychological thrillers. I said that name pretty good. Movies that you go, what the F? You have to look up the meaning. You have to look up the behind the scenes. You have to look up, what is this movie about? Whoa. Totally like a mind blank. So here's some of the best horror films that are a little bit acclaimed films. One of them is the scariest movie of all time, Acclaim. These are some Oscar-winning, some Oscar nomination, or acclaim, or maybe not Oscar all the way, but at least acclaim movies that are horror. Academy Award nomination for 1973, The Exorcist. Of course, y'all know The Exorcist. Everybody who loves horror films has probably seen The Exorcist. I think it's overplayed. People talk about it all the time. It's a great movie, but it could be overdone. So, watch it in moderation, guys. Watch this movie in moderation, The Exorcist. Good, solid, classic movie, but you can never go wrong with that. Just remember there's other great ones too. This one, I have no idea how to say it. I've been trying to say it. Midsummer by Ari Aster, director of Entity. He has a new movie out with Joaquin Phoenix called Edgerton. This one has Florence Pugh in it. This is just one of those like cult. If you like cult, if you're into summertime vibes for sure. Kind of like Friday the 13th and Jaws. A summer horror film. I'll put in my summer horror film list, but this movie is a trip. His other films are a trip. Look up Ari Aster. Ari Aster is going to be is an upcoming director. All right. I haven't seen this new movie, Him, and it got bad reviews. I'm not really feeling it. But if you've seen Us and you've seen Get Out, we have to recommend. I have to say, Get Out is definitely a horror film. This was also nominated, I believe, for Best Picture too. And not necessarily slasher, not necessarily gothic, but psychological. What? Psychological. Okay. This is one. Some people think I'm pushing it. I mean, there's a whole bunch of horror films. Last year, The Substance was a body horror film that got acclaim, and Nosferatu, The Substance, Nosferatu, and The Substance. Nosferatu is for sure horror. I will also, if you're looking for a movie that got some acclaim, got some Oscar wins, with Emma Stone, check out Poor Things. Kind of a Frankenstein. It's very controversial. It has a lot of nudity in it. May I say more? It's definitely Frankenstein-ish. Poor Things. I have the book. I read the book somewhere. I don't want to get it out right now, but Poor Things is streaming on Disney Plus, Hulu version. So do not let your kids click on Poor Things thinking it's like some fun movie. Parental discretion with Poor Things starring Emma Stone. But it was a good film. Made you think about. It has some, it has good feminist, some messaging and some conversations. I like Poor Things. But if you want to see Frankenstein this year, here's my last two recommendations of movies that you don't necessarily think about when it comes to Halloween. You kind of might put them underneath the radar. They might be too artsy-fartsy for some, not pop culture for others. This is not Terrifier. This is not Friday the 13th. Not Nightmare on Elm Street. But the last two movies I'll recommend before I hit almost my 20-minute video mark would be this. Two Best Picture. I got two Best Picture winners. The Shape of Water. It is. If you seen the Creature, think about Creature from the Black Lagoon. Think about Beauty and the Beast. Think about a story pretty much about people with disabilities or people who are not, it's a beautiful romance. I don't care what the haters say. There's haters on this movie. I know there's haters on this movie. You can find them online. People think it's a woman falling in love. People think it's a woman having sex with the fish. Some part of that is a true statement, but there's more to it. Beautiful music, beautiful cinematography. It's poetic. I like this the saying on the back of whoever reviewed this: a poetic love letter to misunderstood creatures. So if you feel like you're an outsider, that's the word I'm trying to look for. Outsider. Please check out. This used to be on Disney Plus as well. Definitely not a movie to watch with your kids, but this is a beautiful, beautiful film. Best Picture of 2017, I think, or 2018. All right. The last movie I'm going to recommend. Get yourself some Japanese film, some Korean love. I need to watch this again, is Parasite. This movie, see, both of these movies won Best Picture. Parasite is really Bing John who directed it. I won't tell you too much about it. It's definitely worth a few. It's definitely ghostly. Think about Ghost and stuff like that. Yeah, these movies. I need to re-watch these and reanalyze these. They're way. They're just difficult. Not difficult. It's you have to pay attention to what's going on in the plot. Parasite. In fact, I'm putting it on my list to watch before the end of the year. To do a rewatch. He has another movie on HBO Max called Mickey Number 17. I haven't seen it yet, so maybe we'll do a festival of good director. Anyways, watch Parasite. So, those are some films that you might want to check out if you haven't already. I know a lot of you have checked out many times over and over again the Jasons, the Friday the 13th, the Draculas, the Exorcists, the Witch, and The Substance. Those have been hot topic films for a while now. People have been talking about them. Oh, you know what? Let's continue on for just a little bit. I have this book. See, you guys need to, if you really want some other recommendations, always go to tmc.com. That's turnerglassupmovies.com. They have really good recommendations. And they give you a little bit of a background story. You see you have Dracula here. Tells you about the making of the movie. Todd Browning. You'll visit all the graves up in Hollywood. Frankenstein. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. House on Haunted Hill. Sleepy Hollow, Beetlejuice, Nightmare on Elm Street, The Thing, The Shining. The Shining. I forgot to mention Shining. Do you know that movie was panned by critics when it first came out? People didn't understand it. Now it's considered a cult classic. Got some cabin vibes. That is a winter film. There's a handful of winter horror films. Shining's definitely a winter film. The Thing is a winter film. So you can watch these next month. You can postpone your Halloween a little bit. Nosferatu is a Christmas movie, kind of. It has a lot of Christmas elements to it. And, yes. There we have it. Oh, Gremlins. See, here's what people don't think. I'm going to make this comparison next week. I want to end with this. I want you guys to think about A Christmas Carol. That is a Gothic story. Christmas Carol is a Gothic story. Think about that. And think about Gremlins. There's definitely a handful of good. When it's Christmas time, I'll make a list of horror movies that take place around Christmas. How's that? Horror movies that take place around Christmas. So you can get your scare on with just Christmas vibes and still have Christmas vibes. Well, before that, it's Thanksgiving. Maybe I'll make a list of Thanksgiving films too. So we'll see what happens. All right, everybody at the World of Corn Alonzo, you guys have a nice time trick or treating. Enjoy your family. And I will talk to you later. Bye.